Hello, my name is John Benson, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a Prime show called Late Night. It was written by Mindy Kaling. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but she's the one who wrote this. She wrote it first, I suppose, as a book or something, and it was made into this Prime movie, I guess. It's a show. And it's about her experience as a comedy writer for a late night talk show. The late night talk show host is a female host who's played by Emma Thompson. Uh, there's quite a big cast in this, I suppose. There are a bunch of other male writers who all kind of look the same to me. I don't know if I have to believe that was consciously done, and because in the show itself, the female host Emma Thompson's character at one point talks about how they all are, well, maybe not necessarily look the same, but that she can't remember all of their names and assigns them numbers. Anyway, there are some discussions in this, as you would think, where about gender and gender equality, this person being the first female writer. But something they did kind of fun was that it's a female host who's also a comedian who also writes, I suppose, is definitely a part of the whole show. So it's not hitting somebody's head, hitting somebody over the head with a mallet type of gender discussion. It is definitely there. They definitely discuss it in the show, but there's many more things that they also discuss in the show, not just gender equality. The writers also from India or not necessarily a typical white European. So there's a little bit of that. There is some discussion about it. Some of the best lines are about that. But most of the show is really not just discussing that. And the jokes don't just center around that. Viewing it about halfway through, I was kind of thinking, well, why didn't they make the host a male so they could take some more shots at this, be more comedic? But at the end, I think they made the right decision. It wasn't supposed to be an over-the-top comedy. That movie has already been done. 9 to 5 was great on that, and there's been other movies and shows that do that. This was different and pointedly different and consciously different, and did a very good job about discussing many different issues. There's a discussion about Emma Thompson's character, who is ostensibly the bad person in this, the bad actor, as in the bad guy, in a sense. But there's also certainly a lot of sympathy for her character too. She, this whole show, the plot centers around Emma Thompson's character may be replaced because she's getting older and the network maybe wants to get a new demographic or wants to punch up the show. However, they nicely point out that the male that she may be replaced with is her same age. So there's that, how these things work differently for men and women. So that was nicely written in. And then Emma Thompson's character's husband is played by John Lithgow, who's going through his own issues, and there's some nice discussion about that. In fact, definitely wanted to hit this point, which was, John Lithgow, I think, does a fantastic job in this show. He's just such a remarkable actor, and it really comes out in this, where he is usually just kind of a silly comedy type of actor, as in Third Rock and many other movies. And I know he's done other things. He's done drama. In fact, he's been like the villain bad guy too. He's done so many different things, and in this one, in this show he doesn't have very many lines. It's a very small part, but he does so much with it. Um, and I think, particularly him and Emma Thompson's acting, if to me, when I think of good acting or fantastic acting, and they are wonderful, wonderful actors, and then you can see not so wonderful acting. There's a good compare and contrast going on with some of the other actors in the show. Mindy Kaling herself, she's playing herself, but it's also written. It's also tough to just go through and act, and so, but it's not just her. It's most of the rest of the cast. They aren't quite up to as high of a degree as John Lithgow and Emma Thompson. And I don't think I'm being mean by saying that. I really don't want anybody to take it to be mean. It's really showing just how great those two actors are. And all the other actors are all okay. I'm just saying that it's a good way to look at the differences in acting quality and what that is. And maybe I don't know. Okay, I'm not an expert on acting. I come at this from, I hope, an English literature point of view, and I'm mostly trying to look at the writing and the characters and the plot and discuss it as if we were in some sort of English literature class right now, not necessarily an acting class, because I'm not an actor and maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. So that's certainly fine if you don't agree with me. Moving on, there's plenty of other discussions going on. There's things going on with the male writers who constantly do things at the wrong time and give bad advice to Mindy Kaling's character. Except for one piece of advice, which was to write a joke. And I thought that was good and real. That's, so I suppose, what should come from this, being the writer herself who's writing this. There were certain moments like that really felt like, oh, that's real. That's something that I could very much feel would be said in the workplace, or that workplace in particular came off great, as far as being this. I'm really getting the insight on how these things work to an extent. It's a good show to watch with a significant other or other people, because it brings up these discussions. It does them, I think, in a really not confrontational way. It's just discussing things. They just come up. It's not that difficult. It's not that overly dramatic, so that you can talk about them. The comedy is there, but it's not super funny. I don't think it was supposed to be super funny. It's supposed to be both. It's one of those dramedies. Other things are going on. There's these discussions, real discussions about people in the workplace and how people act and what's going on, and more than that in the plot are things that are really happen in people's lives to discuss or not discuss. Maybe I'll just think about them. So it wasn't necessarily just trying to be a comedy, and in that it does well. It's a good thought-provoking type of show to watch, and those are good. I certainly enjoy those, and it did well in doing that, and the writing is certainly there. So if you get a chance to see Late Night on Prime, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video, and feel free to leave a comment. Love to hear from you. Hope you have a great day.